Yes, we're live. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to all the mothers. How are you today? Today is Thursday. Thursday, and it's middle of the month already. February, middle of the month. So, in couple of days, more than a week, it will be March. So, time flies so fast, as well as our kids. They grow so fast. If you do not know me yet, my name is Jade Locke, and I live here in the UK. I have a son who is 2 years old. He will be three next week. And I am also a digital entrepreneur. I help people start their own online business, even from scratch. And if you are watching right now, and if you want a side hustle or another stream of income or change your career, just let me know and I will help you. Today we have our guest and let's welcome our guest. If you are watching us now, please leave us a comment where you are watching from. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to raise your questions. We're here to help you. Okay. Hi, Alicia.
Hi.
We have our
Hi.
special
Over here.
guest, Alicia, all the way from the USA.
Yes, I'm in sunny California. So wherever else in the US it's snowy and cold and I'm just enjoying the sunshine.
They said that the weather in California is always perfect. So, Alicia, please tell us about you.
Well, I am a mom and a business owner and a life coach, and I'm a writer. And so when you mix all those things together, um, you write a book for moms. And so one of the biggest breakthroughs that I had in my own personal coaching as a client was letting go of this mom guilt that I'd been carrying around for at least 3 years. Um, and the difference when of that I had this feeling that I had after letting go of this guilt that I didn't even know was there um, was was incredible. And I was like, this is a huge answer to what's going on with a lot of moms who don't feel great about their life, about their parenting, about whatever is going on. Um, Guilt can play a huge part of it. It's not all of it, but when I say I help moms with mom guilt, there's only a few people that have, moms specifically, that have said, "Oh, I don't have any mom guilt," and it's like, great, awesome. And then men are like, "What's mom guilt?" And I'm like, it's a whole, it's a whole nother thing. Um, but that's in a nutshell. That's what I do, is to help women feel, less guilt and guide them back to authentic happiness. So
That is really awesome. That is really awesome. I had a scan of your book. It's really very practical book. It's really a good guide, a great guide for moms about being a mom. There are so many things that is going on inside our life, ourselves as a mom. Uh, when you are single and you become a mom, everything changes really your perspective, your feelings, your emotions, everything. And even guilt. There's another level of guilt when you are a mom. Of course, you have guilt when when you were single or when you did not have a baby yet. But when you get a baby, when you have a baby, it's different level. It's different thing. And so, thank you so much for sharing us about yourself. It's really awesome. We're so grateful that you are here with us this afternoon, even though it's early morning in your time. You graced us your time. Thank you so much. And so let's talk about guilt because it really sucks our life from joy, right? And
mhm.
let's educate our mothers who are listening us right now. The very layman's term or really definition, description of what is guilt?
It sucks. I think is what, we titled this little talk, but um basically guilt is like if you think about the judicial system, somebody does something that was wrong. They broke the law, right? And then in a court of law, they are proven guilty, right? So then once they have the guilty sentence, there's a punishment. So you go to jail, you pay a fine, whatever, and then you've paid retribution for this crime. When you're a mom, it's different because number one, we don't know the rules. There is no rule besides like keep them alive. That's it. And I can only imagine, a mom who's had a parent who's passed away, but and that's a whole nother level too. But like we don't really have clear-cut rules of what a mom should be. I don't know about the UK. I've lived my whole life in the United States, but there's a lot of pressure to be a mom and stay at home. There's a lot of pressure to be a mom and work outside the home. So it's like you can't really do both. It's one or the other, right? Like you can work from home like I do, but there's that, unless you have a husband that just supports you, and then you might not even want to be the stay-at-home mom, right? So there's all these conflicting rules. Do you breastfeed? Do you not breastfeed? Do you have to research on do organic? Do you give them candy? There's all these rules that are not clear and they're not universal either. So number one, you don't know the rule, and then something happens that forces you to break this rule that you don't know about. And then there's no jury that tells you guilty, not guilty. And sometimes there is, like a lot of mom groups, you post a question in the group and you have 30 women telling you how bad you suck. And, you'll post a question like, are my baby's cheeks puffy? And all the moms start talking about your baby's eye is cross-eyed. And it's like, but that, or they'll start talking about the mess that's in the background. So we have a jury of our peers that are telling us we're guilty. But then there's no jury, there's no sentence. So sentence is self-imposed, and that's guilt. So I know that was a really long explanation, but that's essentially what the guilt is. So you do something or don't do something. You
Yeah.
that it was wrong, and then or someone else decides it was wrong, and you punish yourself. Like this puffy cheek mom and the cross-eyed, that's a real story. Like that was a real post that I saw yesterday in a different group. And other mom saying, please don't judge my house. And I'm just looking at her house and it's just cluttered with toys. It's like memories. Those are like your kids that's a great life for your kids. Anybody tell you that, you're a bad mom for not having a perfectly clean house? That's boring.
I believe that those are really some of the guilts of many moms that are here in our group, or any moms out there, right? So basically, in other words, defining what really guilt is difficult to define itself. It is
it,
just, yeah, go ahead.
it is. It takes a minute to slow down, to let go of the guilt. It takes a minute. You got to slow down. What rule did I break? So
Yeah.
we each have many hats that we wear. Most moms are women. They are, so you have the woman hat, you have the mom hat, you may have the wife or girlfriend hat, you may be a single mom, but you wear all these hats. So you have to decide whose rule did you break? Did you break the woman rule? A good woman doesn't do XYZ because we all want to be a good person, right?
Mm,
So you got to figure out what the rule is that you broke. Was it most of the time it's a good mom rule, which is why I called my book Good Moms Don't. Because the
mm,
lie is that a good mom doesn't work outside the home. That's
mm,
the lie. So then just like if you murder someone in self-defense, murder is wrong, but when you murder someone in self-defense, that's the exception to the rule.
mm,
So there's an exception to every single rule that we break that creates the guilt. And so you have to A, find the rule, and then with grace and compassion, find the exception.
yes,
So that's the way that you overcome the guilt.
yes, yes. That is really good. So, what are the common causes of guilt? We know that is like breaking the rule in a legal terms, but what are really the common causes of it? Because I know that it just not an emotion that just pop up into our heart or into our mind, or when you become a mom, you you suddenly have that guilt. It is not right. So what are the common
I think specifically for mom guilt, it's that we love those children.
causes?
These little balls of half us, you just love them so much that you want the best for them. And a lot of times we decide that what's best for them is no pain,
Mm,
heartache,
mm,
no suffering.
mm,
And one thing that's really helped me in finding some of my exceptions to the rules that I break is understanding that our children, that they picked us, no matter what you believe religiously or whatnot. I think that our kids picked us, and so the things that I'm going to teach him on purpose or through my mistakes are his lessons to learn. And
mm,
it's it doesn't give, that's not like license to do whatever, but it is that emotional freedom that,
mm,
okay, I messed up, air quotes, I messed up, it's okay. So I think that the guilt is also caused by I want to be a good person slash I want to be a good mom, and
mm.
and all of that other stuff that I said.
Yeah, I think you're right there. That because of our love to our child, then that's somehow can cause feeling of guilt. One very concrete example is that me and Rob, that EJ, our son, is very strong baby, very headstrong, and he really wants to do what he wants, right? And we are have at first we were having a problem with disciplining him because Rob doesn't want to use the rod or hit EJ or smack EJ. He doesn't because he feels so guilty because he
Mhm,
loves EJ so much, and because of that, he doesn't know how to discipline him.
mhm.
So he's a
Yeah.
dad, he's not a mom. Me at first, of course, I cried. I was so angry, and at first, I didn't know how to deal with EJ. Also, I cried, but I felt guilty because how should I did not know how to discipline him, and I was scared also of what he's gonna be if I do not. discipline him. So I prayed and I look at the Bible on how to discipline a child. And so it says there that do not spare a rod if you love your child. And so
Mm,
since then, I just try to be really strong and I have to talk to him what is his mistake. And I tried one time smacking him using a ruler. And then from then on, when he is naughty, and I will tell him that, okay, do you want smack? And I will say, no, 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 I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So it worked. So
mhm.
after that, I felt so relieved. The guilt disappeared. And I talked with Rob about it and it disappeared also because he saw that it worked and it
Yeah.
helped. But my, what I imply is that because of that love, he felt so guilty about it. So it is not only mom that felt guilty, it's also the father that could feel guilty. The one of the cause, the main cause is one of the reason is because of our love to our
Mm,
child.
yeah. And the before we go into the next question, that's a huge topic is
Mm,
what not to spank. To spank or not to spank is um a huge rule that we don't know which one's right.
mm,
I love that you went to the Bible to look for your for guidance. And another great book that I read was No Drama Discipline because
mm,
I loved the title of it. And then the author has several, he's a psychologist, he has several books about how children's brains work. And I'm
interesting.
so fascinated with how humans' brains work, specifically mine. But I'd love to know how my son's brains work too. But our brains are so fascinating, and I highly recommend that No Drama Discipline because he's got really good um, techniques. And at first, I didn't read the book because I didn't do this. I stopped spanking for my own reasons, but which I actually talk about in the book. So I went moved to timeouts.
Hmm.
One of the first things that he says is timeouts aren't good, and I'm like, what? Oh, I can't win. And
Yeah, I've heard
so,
that too.
but it's not like, oh crap, well, I gave him timeout, so I'm a bad mom now. It's like, okay, what does he say about why timeouts aren't good and what can I do instead? And it's like, we can't change the past, which is what a lot of the guilt is stemming from, is that we can't undo what we did or do what we didn't do. But understanding, like, let's have a little, that's where the grace and compassion comes in for yourself. And what can I do moving forward?
Mm, that's lovely. You're right. We have to be graceful to ourselves and compassionate to ourselves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So basically, what are some solutions and remedies for guilt?
So, um, I mean, that was kind of a perfect segue, grace and compassion for yourself, for your mistakes or for your perceived mistakes.
Mm,
Understanding that, our part of our child has chosen us as their parents. God specifically chose us as their parents. And I grew up Christian, but I don't inside my book, I don't talk a whole lot about God and God's forgiveness because I grew up that way.
mm.
And if God's forgiveness was enough, God's forgive me. Yeah. But if it was enough to heal that guilt, it would have worked already, you know? So it's um so we have to find different things if that's not working, right? And so compassion for yourself, understanding that you're not purposefully doing anything to hurt your child. If you have a normal functioning brain, you love your child and want to do what's best for them.
Mom knows best.
Right? And sometimes what's best is letting them touch the stove, letting them get burned. Like, it's okay. They'll never do that again. If that happens, they fall and break their leg. It part of their path. And we don't have the view, we don't have the above perspective of we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I grew up with a mom that loved her children so much, but she was not a very happy person. And
Mm,
there are ways that that's affected me that I wasn't aware of uh,
mm,
recently. But because I have a mom that, isn't happy, that's what I want for all moms now. So that's like, you know, God used my mom, who was an
mm,
unhappy person, to put me on the path that I'm on.
mm,
And I think that's beautiful. I would love for my mom to be happy. I know that's not in my control, that's in her control. And when she's ready or when she wants to stop punishing herself, because a lot of her unhappiness comes from guilt.
mm.
When she's ready, she'll hopefully ask me and I'll be able to help.
Oh, you have a very good heart. Yeah, true that sometimes guilt really robs our joy and our happiness. And if
Absolutely.
we will not be able to deal with that, we will not be able to overcome that, then it would really sucks our life out from us because we will not be able to live the life that we should live.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that the biggest problem with mom guilt is people don't know that they are experiencing it. That was my story. I realized that I was experiencing it. I also didn't realize what it was doing in my life, in my relationship with my son until I let it go. Because I have a protection mechanism
Mm.
that I'm going to pull away from you before you have the chance to hurt me. That's my defensive mechanism. So I was thinking about this event that was out of my control,
Yeah.
that he was hurt. And
Mm.
so I was projecting into the future, 20-year-old son coming back to me and saying, "Why didn't you protect me?"
Mm.
So current mom was pushing away 6-year-old Xander
Mm.
because I didn't want 20-year-old Xander to hurt me.
Mm.
So that's not knowing that we have the guilt, not knowing what it's doing to us. I had a train of thought that I was going on, but we don't realize how heavy it is. We don't realize the effect it's having on us and our family um, until we let it go, and that's it's so dangerous. Um, I had a client come to me a couple days ago, and she asked the question, "This is how I'm feeling. Is this guilt?" And I said, "Well, I think it is." Because she was feeling like I'm a teacher and I'm not coming home and teaching my daughter. And I asked her a simple question. Does your daughter need a mom or does she need a teacher? And I know you can be both, but it's like teacher hat and mom hat, and you can teach her in fun ways as mom versus
Yeah.
director, right? It was just like she said, I feel lighter. in just a simple, and her family, she'd been asked talking to her family about the problem and her friends, and they were making the guilt worse.
Mm.
You're a teacher, how come you're not teaching her? Well, how's that helpful?
Actually, honestly, that was my guilt before as well. Well, I
Yeah,
was still working and I needed to send EJ to school. Yeah, so guilt really doesn't only sucks our joy, but also relationship, right? If we have that, if we will be able to deal with it. Thank you so much for sharing us your stories.
absolutely.
It's really beautiful that we can learn from your very own story. It's real life.
It
Thank
is.
you
I
so
think that we're
much.
all here to learn from our stories and help other people. Like, it gives our pain a purpose, and then it
Yeah.
doesn't feel, it's like if you find a purpose for your pain, then it makes the pain worth something. You know,
Mm,
and I don't know. I just feel like um when you look at it that way, like in they talk about in I think in Christianity that like to use your suffering to help others. And I don't know, it was outside, it was as an adult that really hit home more.
yeah. I like testimonies more than theories because testimonies is molded and product of tests.
Mhm.
That's why I like
Yes,
testimonies more because it has been tested already. It is
right.
not just a theory, and which really can 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 connect with other people, and because we have similar experiences as a mom, then
Mhm.
we can really connect to other people more, understand and feel the heart. That's all right. So what's
Yeah.
your advice to moms what they should do so that they will be able to overcome this really stealing joy guilt?
I'll be a broken record and say compassion.
Mhm.
Have compassion with yourself. Um, some things, it's okay to need support in. It's okay to say, I've been struggling with this for a long time and I don't know how to let it go. Um, and a lot of guilt is as a punishment for yourself. So have you suffered enough? And when you feel like you've suffered enough, then you're going to be more willing to let it go. Um, so my advice to moms is just to remember that you're never doing anything intentionally,
Mm,
child. And there are if you and I'm here to support. So, that's I titled my business, I called I'm the mom support coach because at the time in my life where I felt the worst, the most down, I felt like I had no support around me.
mm,
I just remember one day being overwhelmed with gratitude by the support in my life. And so that word has meaning to me.
mm,
All need support, and we need support that's compassionate and non-judgmental. And that's what you would find through coaching with me. I'm not going to judge at all. So I do free consultations, and I'll do a free coaching call so you can experience the coaching, kind of try before you buy, I guess. Uh,
mm.
so I'm passionate about this. If that hasn't come across, I want moms to be happy in every aspect of their life, and I want them to be fulfilled. So I'm here. There's my email. My website is my name, AlysiaLyons.com. I have a blog on there that I write little life lessons that I learn, usually through my son, but sometimes they come to me. But he teaches me more than I know. So.
Oh, that's very kind of you. So, hope moms that you will reach out to us. You can reach out, Alicia. It's free. You can have a free call session
Mhm.
before you really enroll, and which is really, really helpful. So, support group is really, really important to anybody. And coaching is really important in so many aspects of our lives. So, moms, to all the moms that are watching us right now or later on replay, if you are struggling something, just do not hesitate to reach out to Alicia, uh, give her, send her an email, reach out to her. She also have a Facebook group. I will write the link later, and so you can join there as well. We have a lot of moms here. You can join cross joining. It's okay, and so that
Mhm.
you can have lots of support. And if you can reach out to me as well. I know that a lot of moms are sending me message privately, and I really really like that. That just means so much that this Facebook group is supporting really indeed a lot of mothers. You can reach out to me. I can connect to you with Alicia, and so you will just have the support that you need, and we will be able to help you, and you will be helped. So much, so much things to learn this very short period of time, and I really really like your testimony. I really like your life testimony. It's so real. You're so authentic. So thank you so much. Not so many people are genuine and authentic in their lives and giving their testimony, and so you are. I really really appreciate it. Thank you so much, mom, for watching us. Send us a message later, and hope to see you again in our next episode. Bye everybody. God
Hi,
bless
thank you.
you.